Hey, Ange.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm
Good.
doing good.
You look good.
Thank you. Thank you. You look nice in your orange.
Orange is becoming, I don't think anything is going to take over green as my favorite color, but orange is heading up there.
Yeah,
I'm seeing
yeah,
a lot of
orange.
orange in my life.
I like orange also. And I realized
Hmm.
that like my whole summer wardrobe is pink.
Really?
Pink and fuchsia. Ain't that something?
You're so
That's
not a
less
pink person.
2.0. That's less 3.0.
What?
You
You trying to
know.
be Barbie?
Not that kind, not bubblegum pink.
Oh,
But
okay.
anyway,
So, all right.
welcome to another episode of Black Boomer Besties from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Hey, folks. We're so happy to be back. Um,
Yeah.
we are clearly not together, but
No.
we've been like we've had a break from recording. We were on
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
run, and
Yeah, we were
then
on a good run and then we kind of I've been working a lot, they've been really working me. They've been getting their money's worth.
no, I
So I'm
know.
tired. I'm looking forward to taking some time off next week. So, yeah.
Yes. So should we mention we're both going to the same place, but not together?
Right. We'll
Right.
actually leave details for it when we return and tell you
Right.
guys all about it and all of
All
that
about
good
it.
stuff. But
All the
Ange,
goodies.
listen,
Yes.
I am not too much in social media. I listen to the radio
Mm.
occasionally, but about Katt Williams.
Listen, it consumed me. It consumed me. I have put it aside now, kinda, because I'm still waiting for a few responses, but it consumed me.
Okay, so here's how I learned about this. I'm listening to Karen Hunter on
Hmm.
Sirius XM's Urban View,
Right.
and she and her co-host were talking about the Katt Williams interview. And I'm like, huh?
Yes.
And they're like, she's like, wow, they dropped the bomb.
Yes.
And I
Broke
can't
the
believe the
internet.
buzz that's going on and it's going
Hmm.
viral and this. And I'm like,
Hmm.
what are they talking about? Katt Williams.
Yeah.
I know Katt Williams. He's a
Yeah.
comedian, funny guy. I didn't pay too much attention to him or whatever. He's been in some shows and things like that, right? And then
Hmm.
I looked to see, like, okay, what are they talking about? Because now it's
Hmm.
everywhere. Everybody's talking
Right,
about it.
right, right.
So do you want to describe
Oh my gosh.
what's going on?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
On January
So,
3rd this
what's it,
year.
January 3rd?
Yeah.
All I know is I also found out about it from Karen Hunter, but I subscribed to her YouTube channel. And so I got
Okay.
a notification on an episode, and I
Whoa.
went, and that's how
So
I
they
found it.
called you out. They're like,
They
Ange,
they were
listen
like,
to this.
you got to check
You
this
gotta
out.
hear
You
this.
and the other 50 million people. It has to be 50 million by now, because the last I looked a few days ago, it was um it was almost 40 million views.
What?
Yeah.
That's a sixth of the population in the country has viewed
No,
this. Well,
no.
50 million, that's 300 million people in the US.
What? Leslie.
And just think, our
Okay.
podcast is gonna have 50 million views.
Okay. So I'm going
That's
to get people's
prophecy.
names. I'll take it. I will take it.
So,
Um,
all right, let's tell people what this Katt Williams thing is.
okay.
Shall I or
So,
you?
well, you will probably remember the names of the
The show?
the the show. I know it was Club Shay Shay, I think was the name of
Yes.
it.
Whose show is that?
And I'm gonna forget his name, even though I've seen him a zillion times because my son
Hmm.
is a basketball fan. Um, I know it starts with an S,
Okay.
but tell me his name.
Well, Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp. There
Mm-hmm.
we go. So Club Shay Shay. So this is Shannon Sharp's YouTube. It's I guess it's a podcast. It's
Yeah,
probably a podcast.
podcast,
Yeah,
but his interview show where he gets stars coming on, and you guys know Shannon Sharp, ex-football player.
right,
He's been on
right.
television for a long time and as a
Yes,
commentator and broadcaster and things like that.
yes.
So he
All
has
the
his own
things.
show and he gets stars on and he interviews them. And
Right.
then he interviewed Katt Williams
Well,
on,
before he interviewed Katt
okay, so go
Williams,
ahead.
he interviewed Cedric
Several
the Entertainer,
comedians.
Cedric the Entertainer,
Yeah.
and who's the other guy? Ricky Smiley.
Hmm.
And they had some things to say about their history and
And the comedic industry in Hollywood.
correct, and how things went down and how things didn't go down. And Cedric the Entertainer was a part of the Kings of Comedy.
Hmm.
So this
With
is
Steve
all
Harvey,
with Steve Harvey. Who else?
Cedric the Entertainer.
Um, was DL Hughley on it? Was he one of them? I don't remember if he was
I'm
one of
not
them.
sure.
And also, he's my favorite. I'm drawing a blank now. Um,
I'm
come
drawing a
on,
blank also.
come on. You see his face. Oh my gosh. He was in Transformers. Ooh, Lord.
Bernie Mac. Bernie
Bernie
Mac.
Mac. Bernie Mac. Okay, so Ricky
I
Smiley
think D.L.
and
Hughley was one of the kings of, yeah.
yeah, I think he was. And so they told their side of how things went down. And then
But it
Shannon
wasn't any
Sharp,
particular incident. They just started talking or gossiping or dishing some dirt about things, how things went on in Hollywood, talking
right,
about their comedy shows and how
right,
things started, some of the movies
yes,
that many of the Black comedians were in, and notable Black celebrities were in. And so they're
exactly.
dishing about Black Hollywood, I guess you could say.
And the comedy circuit in
Right.
particular, because there's
Hmm.
a whole other level.
Yep.
And some of what they said involved Katt Williams. Okay. So Katt Williams then came on the show. I think he requested. No, no,
Wait.
no, no. This is not true because Shannon actually said he's been trying to get him for a while.
Hmm.
And so he came on, and his position was he could not let the lies not get challenged. The truth had to come out.
He said 2024 is the year of the truth
The year of the
and
truth.
essentially
Mm,
let the chips fall where
mm.
they may. And
Oh
boy,
my
did
gosh.
he let out
Oh my
like some like
gosh.
backdoor secrets.
Yeah. Yeah. At this point, we are not going to worry too much about spoiler alert because it's been out for a while
Because
and we
one
won't
sixth
remember
of the
everything
country has
anyway.
already seen it. Mind you, this episode is it's almost 3 hours long. The show was 3 hours. Ange
Yeah.
had me sitting here. She sent me a link. She's like, "Did you hear the interview?" I'm like, "No, I haven't." She sent me the link, which we'll put on our webpage. And and over 2 days, I sat and
Oh,
listened to it, and I'm like,
oh my gosh. It just got better and better and more expose. And Katt Williams
"Yeah,
is not someone who holds his tongue. First of all, he's
mm-mm."
as funny as all get out, but he is a serious, serious,
And
serious
he's
man.
very smart,
Very smart.
very smart.
I don't think a lot of people recognize his level of brilliance because his name has been smeared so many times. And
Mm.
if you are to believe what he has to say, and you know, I believe him. I have to say that full
I believe
disclosure.
him.
I
Oh,
believe him.
he was very believable.
Yeah, and not even about his clapback on what these folks said, but just his life and what kind of experiences he's had and what
Hmm.
kind of shaped him. He's very, very clear about his religious beliefs
His faith.
and definitely,
He's
and
for sure a man of faith. Yeah, yeah.
definitely, yes. And he left home the way that I heard it. He didn't say this, but in further research, what I read is that he got emancipated from his parents when he was 13. Now, again, this is not what Katt Williams said.
He did
Um,
actually. Well, he didn't say
I
he was emancipated. He said he
No, he
left
didn't
home
say it
at
like that.
13
Correct. He
and
didn't say
essentially hitchhiked a truck to Florida.
he rode on trucks. He said he didn't hitchhike. He rode on trucks. We don't know
Okay.
how
By
he,
what
yeah.
means he got there?
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I mean, hitchhiking, you're kind of riding inside. I think he kind of hitched on the back, that like I see Jamaican children do all the time, on the back of trucks. So that's why it was very believable to me. And
From Ohio to Florida?
I don't know. I don't
Right,
know,
right, right,
Les. I'm
right.
just
Yeah.
saying,
I'm
listen, we all
picturing
have
this,
our framing.
his little
Which
body
was
hanging on the back of it, you know.
was a stowaway. He was a stowaway. No, but he is very well read. He's had one of the things that he mentioned that I'll just say up front because otherwise I'll forget is there was a time when he was homeless and he was living
Hmm.
among a lot of people who were drug addicted and all different types of drugs. And he was always interested in people and their stories. And because of all the stories he heard about these people's lives, he doesn't do drugs. But we were led to
He's
believe that he had been strung out and all of that stuff. He is a weed smoker. He's very clear about that. And he
hmm
what he said is that he uses it to be able to sleep because of his you know, the life of a comedian
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
very,
Yeah, sleep
very
rhythm is off.
exactly is and so yeah, and so just in general, one of the things that I really appreciated about the interview was um how serious he was about um telling his truth. And I'll say it that way just out of
Mm.
respect for the other people because I didn't live these stories.
Hmm.
And the way that um, he, he spoke from a listen, this is not about me exposing people. This is about truth. And I can't have lies out there and
Right.
not speak the truth.
He
The
said that
truth has to come out.
he was speaking because people came on Shannon Sharp's show and
Mm-hmm.
said things that were not true. And he
Right,
wanted to
right.
set the record straight, certainly pertaining to himself.
Yes, right.
Hmm.
And his friends, because he set the record straight on Bernie Mac and
Yeah,
some
he said
other
that Bernie Mac
comedians.
was mistreated by those people in that group in his
Yeah,
circle at the time. And
yeah, yeah.
he said he would never work with them again because of the
Right,
way that they treated his friend when he was alive. Bernie Mac
right.
died quite a number of years ago of
Yeah.
not young at sarcoidosis.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Hmm.
I didn't know what happened. I remember I
Yeah.
saw him as he was getting sick and I just felt terrible for him and his family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But
so
here's a couple of things I want to say about Katt Williams. In addition to him being what I say seemed like a man of integrity,
yeah,
he also had such a giving spirit.
yeah,
He adopted seven children. He had one of his
7.
own and
Yeah.
adopted seven children
Hmm.
and raised them as a single parent.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know.
he did.
And I
And
can
beyond
only
that,
imagine how difficult that was living the Hollywood comedian life that he led, successful,
right, right, right.
and then going home to be a father to all of these children.
Yeah. Well, that part kind of a few things that he said. Um, yes, he adopted these children, but he did mention that um, at least for some of them, their parents were involved, but he was their father, and so I don't know to what extent the children's biological parents
Hmm.
were involved in their lives. And he also said that he is a lover of women. And I think that there were probably women around these children also who, having women around you doesn't mean that they are involved in parenting necessarily. But I
Hmm.
just wanted to mention that because he did.
Yeah.
But that doesn't diminish the fact that he chose to be the person responsible for these for seven children, and
Yeah.
just in general his generosity. And I said that I got consumed by this stuff. So in the days following, in the days following, several people, comedians, came out and talked about how generous he had been anonymously. Like, this
Right,
isn't,
right.
he's not expecting people to, ooh, look what I did. One comedian, I wish I knew these people's names, but I don't. One person said that he, after a show, and Katt Williams was there, and he was outside and he got into his car, and Katt threw like a rolled up towel into his car, and he thought it was just him giving him some weed. He didn't even pay attention to it. And when he looked, it was $15,000. And he said he
Right.
needed it so badly because he had been living in his car. And other people said that you know they found out late, like women would come up to them and just put $1,000 into their hands after a show, and they
And
came to
not
find
say
out
who it
later.
was, right? That Katt Williams
Exactly.
had been in the audience, and this is something that he was known to do.
Exactly, exactly. So a very generous man in what we're hearing, and his dates just lined up. And again, I've been watching, but like Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer,
And let me just tell
stealing
you, I'm sitting here
what?
listening, and like I listened over 2 days, and
Yeah,
I would listen, and I'm like, what did I? And I
yeah.
run it back, and it's like, what? So
No, but
essentially, he
that's it.
called out
He
the
called out people.
behaviors and
Yeah,
practices and
yeah,
theft
yeah,
of jokes
yeah,
and
yeah,
this like he gave like proof like in
yeah.
2000 or 1998 he was on stage and said this joke and
Right,
introduced it
right,
this way, and then
right.
in 99 Steve Harvey went around the circuit telling a joke
Yeah,
with, instead of it being a car it was a spaceship or this or that.
yeah,
It's
yeah. Well,
like
that was Cedric. Come on now, get the
it
people right.
doesn't
That was
matter who.
Cedric.
but but
Because that was one of my most favorite Cedric the Entertainer jokes. So now I'm mad
also,
that,
see, I don't
yeah,
pay that
yeah,
much
I do.
attention, so I don't know.
I
I couldn't
do.
tell you any of the jokes any of
Mm-hmm.
these people
Mm-hmm.
say. But
Well, can I go
you
one on one person? Because I had a thing about him from the get.
all right, who?
Steve Harvey.
Okay.
Okay. So
Nuts Family Feud, Steve Harvey.
I've seen him live, and I've seen it. I went to one of his shows, and it was really off-putting. It was like he was really angry. Like, I'm just here, just to, I don't care about. He was
Mm.
just really, so that put a bad taste in my mouth because I had
Hmm.
been not a super fan, but I was a fan of his. Look, I bought money to go to a show, so I must have really liked the guy.
Yeah.
So, and then um, I saw Monique. Remember
Hmm.
when Monique had been kind of black blackballed, blacklisted? What is the term? Um,
I guess blacklisted. Yeah.
she had been shunned
In the
by the
industry.
industry, yes, and she went on to Steve Harvey's TV show, his where he
Talk show,
interviews
his
his talk
daily
show.
talk
Thank
show.
you.
Hmm.
Right. And basically, she was saying that um, behind the scenes, everyone, including him, tells her that she didn't do anything wrong, but no one came out in public and
And
supported
took her
her.
side.
And you know what that man
And
said?
validated her.
Do you know what he said? I can't even believe that he actually said this.
So she was on his show and she said, I think something like, why didn't you defend me? Or why didn't you have my
Right,
back? Or we've always been
right.
cool. What's up? And
Exactly, exactly. I'm out here in the deep end drowning and nobody threw a life
what did
preserver
he
to
say?
save me. He basically said, this is about money. I'm not going to worry about integrity over money. I've got my family, I've got my legacy. I don't care about integrity. What am I going to do? Think about integrity. And
What?
that is
He said this
exactly,
on television
he
and
said this on his show. On his show.
whoa.
Monique, this isn't about black and white. This is about green. You want me to, and he was so, you want me to talk about integrity? I'm talking about green. Yes,
And I bet you
yes,
his audience was
yes,
applauding and stuff. It's like
yes,
throwing this woman under the bus and
yes,
oh,
yes.
no
It
good
was
comes to
so
people that do
bad.
things like that.
It was so
Ange.
bad. That's right. That's right. And the other thing is, I don't know if you guys remember Mark Curry. Remember
Yeah,
that
yeah.
comedian, really
Hanging with
tall
Mr.
guy,
Cooper.
hanging with
He
Mr.
had the TV
Cooper?
show. He was the principal or teacher in the school. And yeah,
Exactly.
apparently that he
Tell,
really got shafted. Katt Williams
yes.
talked about how, was it Steve Harvey again or
It was Steve
someone?
Harvey
I don't remember
again.
to see. I'm just
Steve
listening like,
Harvey. Listen, didn't Steve Harvey have a show about being a teacher?
I think so. I
He
think
did.
so.
He did. So the claim is that he basically took Mark Curry's career. He took his jokes, and I
Wow.
did see recordings of that, and he took his whole career. And yeah, so I know.
Let me just
I
say this
know.
though. I, not being in the industry, what do I know?
You
But
have to explain that you're not in the
I,
industry.
you know, listen, what I really wanted to say is, how about we get Kim Coles on here to give some commentary about what's going on
You
in
don't
her
want to
neck of
get
the
our sister
woods?
into trouble.
No,
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 we're
no, we
not.
do not. We
Happy
do not.
birthday, by the way.
But
Happy
happy
birthday,
birthday,
Kim.
Kim. Today's her birthday. Um, let's get her on the phone.
No,
No,
no. I
I'm
hope
kidding.
she's out hanging out, having a good time.
But anyway, I honestly thought I didn't know that jokes actually were like proprietary or like people own jokes. I kind of thought like they
Yeah,
kind of passed around stories,
yeah. Well,
Like
I
I
don't
didn't
think they're
know that
proprietary. I
people
don't.
could actually like steal a joke or,
Well, listen. Okay, it's just like music, right? It's just like
but no,
any.
music is copyrighted or whatever. You can't steal music
I understand that, but people sample music, and that's allowed, right?
if you get permission.
Okay. Well, maybe that's not a good example. However, you there's always in any creative field you're going to, you know, there's going to be kind of a gray area or
Hmm.
a loose barrier between one and another. However, some of these jokes are verbatim.
Yeah.
That is stealing.
But
That
not
is
only is that
stealing.
stealing, like, why aren't they ashamed? Like to
I
be
don't.
like found out or whatever, like called out. I'll tell you what's
Yeah.
interesting though. well, you're plugged into this a little more than I am because I have a life. But oh, did I say that out loud?
You did. I
Um,
heard you too. Everybody
but
heard you, Les. Everybody heard you.
but but I'm not hearing too many people coming forward and saying he's lying
That
and
is true.
denying it.
That is true.
I'm not hearing too many people.
That is
In
true.
fact, Omari was telling me that Smiley, what's his name?
Yeah. Ricky Smiley.
Ricky Smiley. Oh my gosh, why did he do this?
Oh
Went on
no.
social media
Yeah.
and was in tears, crying
Oh
into the
no.
camera. Like, this
Oh
is a bad
no.
time for me, and why he gotta call me
No.
out like this, and why he gotta do this.
No.
And something happened with his son, maybe tragically or whatever.
No.
And he's like, I mean, he was like, Amari's like, why is this grown man on social
Oh
media crying?
no.
Like, why he gotta do me like
Oh no. Oh no. That's too bad. That is too bad. Yeah, I guess people have to be responsible for their own stuff because the thing that went down with him is they were on a doing a movie together,
Mhm.
and Ricky Smiley claimed that there was a part that
That the part that Katt Williams had was actually slated for him, which
exactly,
apparently was a bold-faced lie.
yeah,
And
yeah. So
Katt
it was
Williams
some
kept saying,
pretty,
"How is it possible?" He's like, "I developed that character. How is it
yeah,
possible that he says he this was his character?" And
right,
I don't.
right,
Why would people say that? I guess because they don't think
yeah.
that they'll get caught or people won't come forward or
I,
whatever.
I think so. I think people get caught up in the moment, and probably things that they were thinking or hoping and, became a part of,
Just slips out
and
over
then
and
it just
over.
slips out. And then, yeah. And I think too, not in kind of current time, but a lot of these kind of joke stealing that was going on happened before the internet.
And yeah, yeah, this
And
happened
so
right
you're
before
not
there was proof
thinking,
and stuff.
right? You're not
You
thinking that
don't think
something
that
you
people will
did
find out.
exactly. And now, side by side, you see a joke being told in 1998 and another time in 2004,
And it's
and it's the
like,
same
you
joke.
doggone thief, for goodness sake.
It's like,
You know what though?
yeah,
I love this part about Monique says she listens to Club Shay with Shannon Sharp
okay.
often. I've never
Hmm.
even heard of it before.
I've heard
But
of it, but I don't listen
I
to it.
loved Shannon's reaction to stuff. He was like cracking
He
up. He
couldn't
was
believe it.
like,
He
oh
could
no.
not
He's like,
believe it.
nobody's ever gonna come on my show again, man. Come on,
Couldn't
man.
believe it. Come
He
on,
couldn't get
man.
over it. And we even heard the people in the background filming. They were cracking up. They were like, ooh,
Let me tell you,
wow.
this is a part of history that
I'm still waiting for these folks to
listen,
clap back and say, like, I want to see what Steve Harvey has to say. I want to see what
I
Cedric
saw
the
something.
Entertainer has
I
to say.
saw
We already
something.
see what Smiley said.
Yeah, I saw Steve say something. I just have to confirm that it was something that was recorded after because I don't like to just um, I do fact checking as much as I can.
Hmm.
So I just want to look at when that was recorded, but I think he did respond, but it was something very benign about, looking at people, what people learn, not what they earn, or vice versa. But I don't think that anyone really is going to clap back because I believe Katt when he says that he knows things that people do not want him to tell.
Right. And people
And
don't realize that he
exactly,
knows.
exactly. And so I don't think anybody's going to come for him. Not in kind of a clapback kind of way. God forbid.
Mm,
I hope they don't come from it for him in other ways. But
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think that I just don't think that they're going to do it. I don't
I
think so.
also I liked how he said, when he got to Hollywood, knew that he was not going to sell himself out in certain ways,
Yeah. Yeah.
inappropriate ways or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
unethical ways with
Right.
producers or
Right.
whomever,
Right.
whatever, you know.
Right.
Um,
Mm-hmm. And he asked for certain changes to be made in scripts, and when they wouldn't change them, it's the script
yeah,
moved on. But for him, he would see, okay, this person was okay with doing that, but
yeah,
I
and
wasn't
this
okay
is
with
not for
doing that.
me. I'm
And
not
it's to
gonna
each
put,
his
I don't
own.
need to put on a dress in a show. I don't
Right,
need to
right, right.
he changed one of the scenes in the movies, to that he thought was inappropriate and unnecessary.
Yeah, one of them involved
Yeah.
a rape, and he was like, in no way is that funny. And
Uh-huh.
but I don't know if that stayed in or out. But I guess overall, all of these kind of these sensational stories aside, and I was really interested, so I'm not going to pretend that I wasn't.
Yeah, you certainly were.
But all of that
And then when
aside,
every person I talk to about it, they're like, "Yeah, I listened to it." I'm like, "What? Am I the last one?"
yes. So
It was just filmed on the 3rd. It was just taped on January 3rd. Man, in a week it like went like a
crazy,
tornado.
really.
I am
Yeah,
gonna
but
ask him, obviously not publicly, but I'm gonna ask what the back end, what the industry is saying about it.
it's saying about it. Yeah. I Here's the thing. I This to me is such an example of big fish and small fish thing. And I don't mean in terms, because Katt Williams is wealthy.
Hmm.
He is wealthy.
So what
He's
do you mean by
wealthy.
that?
What I mean by that is that people who are kind of the apple of the industry's eye, right? Kevin
Okay.
Hart,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Steve Harvey, the other ones are less so.
Hmm.
Um, that they have ways of masking truth and having this idea. I don't want to go crazy with this, but when you think about people like Weinstein, right, and these big names, is it what's his name? Is it Epstein?
Diddy, you
Epstein.
mentioned.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
Epstein.
Epstein, right?
Epstein
These
on
these
the island.
people, yeah, these people who believe that they have this level of clout, that they
Hmm.
can do anything
Like
and
our former
nothing
president.
exactly,
Yeah.
and nothing will happen to them. Really like that what seems to be truth is being um, spoken. What is it? Bring
Yeah.
truth to
I
power.
like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I like 2024 being the year of truth. I like that.
I like it. That
I
works
like
for
it.
me.
I'll take
That
it.
works for me. Yeah. I'm going to try
I'll
to see
take
Katt
it.
Williams. He's going to be in Raleigh, but
Uh,
I have to see if all the dates line up. But I think I
hmm.
may go to see him. So anyway,
My pastor said that 2024 was the year of alignment. So
ah,
I like that.
okay,
Truth and
yeah.
alignment
So do you have a word of the
works for
year?
me.
Do you have a word of the year? Do you?
Well, you know me, my word is always honesty.
Yeah. I'm
But do
gonna.
I have a
I'm
new
gonna.
word? What do you
Yeah.
think?
Well, I'm gonna give us each another week, and I want you to think about your word in this way. I want you
Okay.
to think about um, where you want to be at the end of the year.
Ooh.
And then what is the word that's going to fill the gap between where you are now and where you're going to be?
Oh,
That's what I want your word to be. So I hope
I
it's not
already have the
honesty.
word.
I hope it's not
I
honesty.
already
What
have
is
the
it?
word.
What is it?
Focus.
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay.
Focus.
The word that I'm playing with right now is expansion, but
Ooh.
I'm not sure if it will stick. I will let you know after next week. but I think
I
it's going
think
to
it
be
should not be
expansion.
expansion.
Oh my gosh. You don't choose
Ange,
my word, Les.
Ange, I can't take it. If you expand, it means I gotta expand. It's too much for me. Please don't expand. How about if your word is shrinkage?
That will never happen, Les. You better get off the train right now if you think it's shrinkage. I think
Okay, in other words, I gotta
just
gear up. Oh my gosh. It's
strap
gonna be a
on,
bumpy
strap on.
ride. Well, anyway, this has
It's
been
gonna be
another episode
fun.
of Black Boomer Besties from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.